everyone, and welcome back to Hypermobile Friendly Workouts. My name is Eva, and I am very excited to take you guys through today's advanced beginner wrist strengthening workout. So for today's class, you are going to need a mini loop band. You could use one of the longer resistance bands as well, but I'm using a medium mini loop band today because that's what feels good to me. Feel free to go lighter, feel free to go heavier, but this is what's going to make it the advanced beginner in our class today. A quick reminder that if anything does not feel good to you today, if anything is not feeling challenging in the good way or supportive, please just don't do it, because there is no point in pushing through pain just to say you did the workout. But with that being said, we are going to get started the same way we did with our beginner wrist strengthening class, which is just with a little forearm release. And so in order to do this forearm release, the forearm is this section right here. I just want you to take your hands and softly start massaging around. And we're gonna take 30, maybe 40 seconds just to kind of start here. Whew. And we're gonna see how this feels. In fact, one cool thing to do before you get too deep into this is just flex and extend your fingers a little bit just to see how it's feeling. And then in about 20 to 30 seconds, we'll do that again and see if it feels any different to you. So we are going to be doing a chunk of today's class down on the mat. So I do encourage you to find yourself a space where you can lay down. And we're gonna do this side for about 10 more seconds, and then we're gonna move on to the other side. Any spots that feel a little zazzily, feel free to give them a little extra love. Okay, now before we switch to the other side, just, see if there's a difference. Do you feel a difference in your right and left hand? Let me know in the comments. And then let's do the other side. We'll take about 40 seconds or so, and then we're gonna dive right into our strengthening exercises down on the mat. So I love resistance bands, honestly, for this type of work. I love resistance bands for hypermobility strengthening in any capacity, but I think today is going to be really cool. We're going to work through some isometric exercises, which is just holding the wrist really strong and steady, and we'll work through just a little bit of repetition as well. Alrighty, take 10 more seconds here, work through any, find a little last sassy spots. Getting a lot of sass up by the elbow. Alrighty, take a second to just reset, maybe flex and extend the fingers. Wonderful. And that is actually where we are going to start today. So very similar to our beginner class, but let's just kind of get the wrists reactivated, letting your palms fall open, wrists can rest on the knees, and you guys can just slowly flex and extend the wrists. Now, with hypermobility, please don't force into these huge extreme ranges. We're not going for big range of motion, we're going for active range of motion. So I want you guys to feel that connection to the top of the forearm and then lengthen it out. Let's go 2 more. Slow and steady wins the race here, guys. Now let's flip the palms to face down and do the same thing, but in the opposite direction. So now we're lifting the wrists and lowering. Be a little conscious that you're not hyper extending the fingers to make this happen. Really let this be a movement from the forearm, from the wrist. Let's go 2 more. 1 more. Beautiful. Last one we're going to do before we pull the resistance band out is we're going to pretend we're shaking hands, right and left side. So you're going to let the wrists just rest softly on the knee, very small, down and up. The range of motion here should not be as big. Your range of motion between this and this, 2 very different ranges of motion. So don't force it. We're just gliding. See if you notice any stickiness anywhere. My right side is she's a little crackly, not painful, but just pop, pop. Ooh, yeah, and then it smooths out a little bit. So take your time, we'll go 2 more. Small range of motion here, guys, 1 more. Beautiful job. Okay, let's dive right into some resistance work. We're gonna go flat on our back. you are gonna take the band around one leg. So I'm popping it around my left thigh. Unfortunately, I do think I'm gonna cut off a good chunk of my lower body here today, but we're just gonna roll with it. And I'm gonna have you guys let your elbow rest down just heavy next to your ribs. Use any supports you need to for your neck, your back, like get yourself comfy, flat on your back. And we're gonna walk your leg out just so much that you're starting in a slight open angle with the elbow. We don't want you all the way out here. Slight open angle with the elbow. Nice, firm, flat resistance band against the palm. Now, your job is to keep the wrist long and lengthy. We're not pulling in like so. We're going to lift the forearm to closer to a 90-degree angle, keeping the wrist nice and straight. And then softly and slowly release it. So we will get a little bit of bicep activation in this. Obviously, it's a bicep curl. But we also are working to keep the long, strong wrist. So you might get some activation, you should get some activation in the forearm here as well. We don't want to let the wrist break, yeah? And we don't want to curl inward. That's not what we're doing with this exercise. Pull it in, hold it for a moment, and then softly let it release. Now you guys, again, only pull in so far is that it does not feel like muscular joint strain, okay? We want to feel active, challenged, but not in pain. Let's go one more, shall we? Slow and steady wins the race. Shoulder is soft. Hold it if you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax down. Okay, now I'm gonna flip my palm the opposite direction. So this one's a little bit harder just because the band's gonna want to slide, but you're gonna grip the band with your thumb, let the forearm be long, same exact idea. Ooh, little harder for me this direction, so my range of motion's not as big on the first one. Let's go again. Maybe you're doing this and you're all the way up at a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna see if I can push myself a little bit here. Ooh, it's hard, but we're doing it. Let's go, 2 more. Slow and steady, soft shoulder. Let's go, 1 more. Beautiful, beautiful job, guys. Go ahead and relax. And let's switch the band over to the opposite side. So, bringing the band across to the other thigh, palm goes nice flat band, and again, starting with the elbow in a slightly open angle. So not flat, but you don't want to start at 90 either. When you are ready, keeping the wrist as long and strong as you can, you're gonna pull the palm towards that 90-degree angle. Feel that activation here, maybe feel it a little bit through the bicep as well. And bring it back down. And again. And softly release. Exhale, feeling that strength build in the forearm. Little bit of challenge. And again. If the band is shifting or sliding, go ahead and make an adjustment. Let's go 2 more. And 1 more. Beautiful job, guys. We're gonna flip the palm so that the palm faces away from you. Back of the hand has the bands now. Try to keep the wrist as straight as you can. And you're gonna pull back towards that 90-degree. And then release. So we just have these little isometrics. Pull back. And again. Pull back. Beautiful job, guys. Let's go 3 more. And 2. Good. 1 more. Soft and steady. And now last thing we're gonna do is come on back up to seated. Take your time. I know that's a transition for some people. I want you guys to take both legs into the band, if that feels like an okay position for you. You're gonna loop both of your hands inside the band, and from here, super, super soft movement. We're just gonna lift up and down. So you got that little bit of resistance on the band, lift up and down. I really want you guys to focus on movement, oh my goodness, from the wrist. For some of you guys, you're probably like, oh, this is so easy, but let's really try to make it focused and intentional. We're gonna go 2 more. And 1 more. Beautiful, beautiful job, guys. Kick the bands away, and you have made it. Take a moment to see how the hands, wrists, and forearms are feeling. Woo! Hopefully they're feeling good and flowy. If you guys enjoyed this workout, please like it, subscribe to the channel, comment, tell me how your wrists feel, and I will see you back in another workout very, very soon. Take care.